Okay, so what if a hero's only superpower was protecting the assets of the super rich? I know, it sounds kind of nuts, but that's the bizarre and absolutely fascinating premise of the Japanese financial thriller, Private Banker. So yeah, forget capes and justice for all. This story is all about a man who works exclusively for the 1%.
So, we meet our protagonist, right? And he's not defined by superpowers, but by this one really odd quirk. His signature prop is an umbrella, which he just casually opens indoors. You know, it's this small act of defiance. It's a signal, loud and clear, that this guy doesn't follow society's rules, not even the superstitious ones.
And this is his motto. It's not some big, loud battle cry. It's just a calm, calculated promise he makes to a super wealthy clients. This simple phrase, it just perfectly sets the stage for his unique role as a financial fixer, a guardian of fortunes, no matter how dirty they might be.
So who exactly is this man, Koichi Ano, and what makes him so different from any hero we've ever seen? Well, he's not fighting for the little guy, that's for sure. He's a specialist with a very, very specific clientele.
And this is where the show just flips the entire hero script on its head. A traditional hero fights for justice. Ano protects assets. A hero helps the weak. Ano exclusively serves the 1%. He isn't here to defeat villains. No way. In a lot of cases, his job is actually to enable them by making sure their ill-gotten wealth is safe and sound.
The character, Koichi Ano, is played by the fantastic Toshiaki Karasawa, and he's presented as this elite money doctor, a man of sophisticated calculation and just unwavering control. And that umbrella? It's way more than a quirk. It symbolizes a man who operates in his own system of logic, completely unbothered by what anyone else thinks.
Okay, so let's get into his mission. Because his clients, they are a world unto themselves. His main assignment revolves around a single, incredibly powerful, and deeply, deeply troubled family.
So Ano is tasked with managing the assets of the Tenuji family, the owners of this massive conglomerate. And the value of those assets? A staggering 700 times billion yen. I mean, we're talking about a fortune that requires a true financial wizard to even begin to navigate. But here's the thing, this family isn't just wealthy. They are a complete mess. A total hotbed of rivalry, pride, and entitlement. And this internal dysfunction, it's not just some background drama. It's the very engine that drives all the conflict in the entire series.
Right? So here's the crucial point. Ano's job is not to expose these people or bring them to justice. Attempted murder, embezzlement, fraud, it is all on the table. But for Ano, these aren't crimes to be punished, they're risks to be managed. His goal is simple: make sure the family's wealth is protected from the consequences of their own awful actions.
This raises the obvious question, right? What kind of tools does a financial fixer even use when the law isn't really his primary concern? What's in his toolkit to perform this, so-called money magic?
Well, his method is basically a tactical masterclass in morally gray areas. He finds leverage, he exploits every legal loophole you can imagine, he calls on his huge network, and he is not afraid to manipulate people or even orchestrate betrayals. He essentially turns the entire world of finance into a weapon to achieve his one and only goal: secure the assets. It's also really important to understand that this is all deeply rooted in the specific realities of Japanese financial culture. This isn't about hiding money in Swiss bank accounts. Nope. It's about navigating these unique domestic challenges, like Japan's super complex inheritance laws, bitter family business disputes, and even the adoption customs the elite use to keep wealth in the family.
So let's kind of zoom out here and see what this story tells us about bigger ideas, beyond just the plot. The show uses this extreme scenario to hold up a mirror to some very, very real-world dynamics.
And hey, don't mistake this for some grim, heavy drama. The show's tone is actually very self-aware, almost satirical. It's this stylized, nearly theatrical look at the absurdities of the ultra-wealthy. And you can tell the veteran actors are having an absolute blast playing these larger-than-life characters. And this is the central question the show forces us to deal with, especially today with rising income inequality. It challenges us to look at Ano not as some mustache-twirling villain, but as a hyper-competent professional. And what does it say about our system if doing your job well means helping the rich get away with everything?
So, with a premise this morally ambiguous, you have to wonder, what did audiences actually think of it? Did they find it fascinating, or was it just frustrating to watch?
Well, viewers on my drama list gave it a really solid 7.5 out of 10, and that shows that despite, or maybe because of, its challenging moral stance, its unique approach clearly found a receptive audience that was totally hooked by the premise.
So, should you watch it? Well, whether this show is for you really depends on what you look for in a story. If you're into financial intrigue and characters who operate in all those shades of gray, you'll probably love it. But if you need clear heroes and villains and a sense of justice being served, this one might just drive you crazy.
Ultimately, the show's genius, or maybe its most disturbing quality, is its absolute commitment to this one provocative idea. We're left with a protagonist who is an expert at his job and never once stops to ask if that job is right. And that leaves the final provocative question to you. How do you feel about a hero who is unapologetically and masterfully on the side of the 1%?